20 years ago today, our nation faced a living nightmare never before witnessed in the annals of history. Most Americans woke up that uneventful Tuesday morning unaware of the hidden threats associated with international terrorism or the increasing call for jihad in Western Asia. Al-Qaeda was an unfamiliar word associated with an arbitrary group. Afghanistan was an inconsequential nation lost on a map. Our nation had just experienced one of the more lucrative decades in American history, a decade capped by the liberation of Kuwait and the hanging Chad. Indications of a turbulent future with jihadists went unnoticed as social issues dominated the 24-hour news cycles. An infatuation with a high-profile court case gripped office gossip, and terrorism was considered more of an internal threat than that from those thousands of miles away. It was on this day, September 11, 2001, that our understanding of safety was shattered. In one day, we witnessed both the worst and best of humanity. We remember the 2,977 people who perished on 9/11. We lost family, we lost heroes, and we lost friends. Each person we lost is a pillar of freedom, each one evidence of the virtue of liberty. American ideology was attacked that day. Our nation at its best represents the freedom and liberty of its citizens. The United States was established to embrace independent thought, personal choice, and lifestyle preference. As it grew and matured, those seeds of liberty sprouted a more robust inclusion of equality and extended the inherent rights advocated by our Constitution to all walks of life. It is that fundamental concept of freedom, that acceptance of liberty for all, that threatened a fringe extremist group into militarizing and taking action. 9/11 must be a reminder that the notion of freedom is both powerful and fragile. And after 20 years, the recognition and commemoration of liberty and diversity that we all championed ushering into the 21st century has become obscure. The attacks on America were aimed at our independence, targeting our values despite the diversity of our religions, our politics, and our lifestyles. It was that embrace of unity, that patchwork quilt from Democrats and Republicans to Christians and atheists, which blanketed our lives in the comfort of liberty, that was assaulted. Today, we have allowed ourselves to become victims in a struggle to establish a political American identity. It was our freedom, cemented together by the inclusion of all Americans, that threatened an unknown enemy. It was the dangers of their ideology, guised in religious justification and cultural superiority, that led them to wage war on what they considered different and threatening. We have drifted from the unity we once embraced. Though we remember the victims of 9/11 every year, as we should, we have forgotten why we were attacked. And because of the faded memories of America in resolve following the attacks, a display to the world of our united front, we have receded into party ideology. We have made enemies of our own brothers and sisters because they don't share our version of America. It was the threat of being different in a country that allowed for all philosophies that was attacked. We must recognize the dangers of aligning so fervently to a faction. We must not be threatened by another's way of life, and we must embrace differences as a metric of strength. September 11th is a day to remember loved ones lost, but it must be a day to remember the importance of liberty and freedom for all.